One thing about willpower is it's limited, it's finite. We all have a certain store or reserve that we can draw on from time to time. But if you are busy, if you're overworked, if you're tired, if you're making a lot of decisions during the day, you imagine willpower like a kind of gas tank, and the gas slowly recedes until eventually the tank is empty. And if you rely on willpower constantly to make the right call, the right kinds of decisions with respect to things like how much time you spend on your phone, ultimately you'll fail, because you just can't keep drawing on that well. So what you really need to be able to do is to set up structures that mean that you don't have to rely on willpower. The biggest issue with it, and why willpower is never enough, is, as you say, that behind every screen there are two things. One is there are very smart people who know a lot about human motivation and psychology designing those products. So they're putting those hooks in that we talked about. The other thing that's going on, though, is you don't need to be smart. You just need access to a lot of data. And if you have access to data, you can A/B test everything. So if I'm creating an app and I want to know if I make the background red, will people spend more time than if I make it blue? I release two versions. Everyone gets a red version or a blue version. And then maybe I see from user data that the blue version is more engaging. So suddenly everyone gets the blue version. Then I say, I wonder if I add a like button or a button that allows engagement, what happens? Suddenly people are spending 20 minutes a day more on the platform. If you do that with each feature over and over again, this little arms race between different versions of the product, what you end up getting at the end of it all is this kind of evolved, weaponized version of the product that is perfectly designed to overcome whatever willpower reserves most humans have. And that's why so many of us spend more time than we'd like on our screens. So one of the really important insights people had was that if you ask adults in the United States, and again, this is true across the world, how much of the waking day, or how much of the day, 24 hours a day, can you reach your phone without moving your feet? So it's effectively a part of your body. It's like an implant. 75% of adults tell us that they can access their phones without moving their feet 24 hours a day. So that means the phone is in their pockets, they're sleeping with it on the nightstand, no matter where they are, no matter it's on the desk next to them, it's always available. And that's incredibly problematic. We know the rule is that the things that are closest to you in space and time are the things that are going to have the biggest effect on your well-being and on your experience of the world. And so if you allow your phone to occupy that much space and time, it's going to encroach, and that's what it does. So what we have to do is circumvent that. There are a number of ways to do that. The first strategy when I work with people on this is to tell them to pick something that's constant every day. For most people, that's dinner. Everyone has dinner at some point in the day. Start there. During dinner time, find a different room. Make sure that the phone is as far away as humanly possible from you. So lock it in a drawer in a different room when you're having dinner. Make it nowhere near your dining room. Some people have a little box. I know a lot of families have a little box. They'll put their phones in their box. There's a great company called Intentionally Unplugged. They sell these boxes that are like really cute, beautifully made. Kids love them. They throw their phones in them. And what you find is it's hard at first. And it should. That's again, the kind of addiction idea that you get withdrawal. You wonder what you're missing out on. You have massive doses of FOMO and you're like, I feel uncomfortable not having my phone. But if you're alone, you get to think freely. If you're eating dinner with family, you actually get to engage with the other people. Your kids might push back initially, but eventually it becomes this time of day that's cherished, that is like, it's precious. It's a time of day where you connect with people in a way that you can't otherwise. And what I've noticed, which suggests this works, is that once people do this for a little while, it expands. So they start doing it with the bedroom. They say, I'm not going to have the phone in my room for 90 minutes before bed, and for the first hour when I've woken up, I don't want to have the phone anywhere near me. So that's one thing they do. Another thing they might do is on weekends, they might put their phone on airplane mode. So they have access to the camera, they can use the phone as a camera. And in an emergency, they can use the phone if they need it, but it's not going to continually intrude on whatever they're doing with themselves, their families, their friends. And so more and more of the week becomes reclaimed from screens. And it's the best way to do this is just to build these habits in where any time of day, you should basically be asking yourself any time of day, right now, do I need to be able to reach my phone? If the answer is not absolutely yes, put it far away. If it keeps pinging you and there are notifications, turn all of the notifications off. If every time you turn the phone on, you see all your app icons for social media platforms and your email and so on, bury them in the 5th page on your phone so that when you turn it on, all you see are the utilities. There's Google Maps, there's my clock, the basic things that you need every time you turn on your phone. Make sure you make it as hard as possible for yourself to use your phone for as many hours of the day as possible, and you'll find that you enjoy that. It's good for you. You feel better as a human being, happier, healthier, because you've distanced yourself from that device, and you haven't had to rely on willpower because it becomes a habit. It becomes a matter of architecture.